Hello, everybody. This is Sidereal Midnight, and welcome to the first episode, or as will probably be titled, the 0th episode of the first Let's Play on this channel. Sidereal Midnight plays Shadowrun Hong Kong. Now, I'm titling this the 0th episode for those who may not be all that familiar with the game, because there's a lot of character building that goes into creating a character in this game. Because it's a tactical squad-based RPG, so it doesn't have a lot of the turn-based components or slower components of more traditional RPGs. But it is an RPG, so there's still a lot that goes into character creation and customization. I'll be doing all of that in this episode, and then hopefully soon after we'll be uploading the first gameplay episode for all those who would rather just skip the character building and get straight to the action. But for those who are interested in how the character building in this game works, I'm going to put an episode up on it. I'll also be saving most of my hype for the next episode, but I've been waiting to play this game for 3 months, so some of it's probably going to bleed through. That being said, let's get started. Alright. Yep, it's talking about how you can do mod stories in this game apparently very easily. And it lists them all on this bar if I had multiples installed, which I don't. And it's got all these tags on it. It was updated apparently yesterday. So let's see. Hong Kong, a stable and prosperous port of call in a sea of chaos, warfare, and political turmoil. The Hong Kong Free Enterprise Zone is a land of contradictions. It is one of the 6th world's most successful centers of business, and also one of its most dangerous sprawl sites. A land of bright lights, gleaming towers, and restless spirits, where life is cheap and everything is for sale. I'm looking forward to this. Let's begin. Okay, I'm gonna go with normal, just because easy is... I'm not a new player to this series, and hard, I don't want to do that for a Let's Play. And here we are in the character creation screen. Now, some of this is going to be new to me as well, because I believe they've added new features, but we're going to go with a male, just to be in keeping, and I already have a character in mind, which is going to reveal itself as time progresses. And the character I have in mind would probably be a human. Humans were the only race on Earth until the Awakening in 2012. Now they find themselves in the definition of average, or even normal. They are still the most populous race in the world, and thus control many of the most powerful, moneyed, and important positions in society. All humans have +3 karma, which is essentially stat distribution points, and have a max of 9 in every stat. There are also elves, dwarves, orcs, and trolls, but the character that I am making is definitely... Let me just check to make sure that I'm not missing something important here. So that they have a 14 in body max, and 12 in strength. They have a 17 in body max, and a 15 in strength. They have a 12 in strength, 11 in willpower, and 11 in charisma. They have 11 in quickness, 12 in charisma. I'm not sure which stat the character that I'm thinking of will need, so we may come back to this screen. So, and then we have archetypes, or classes for the game. Street Samurais, which are basically cyberpunk soldiers, if that makes any sense. They they're cyborgs that can do a lot of close combat damage. Mages are your standard Western RPG mages. They control elements and do a lot of crowd control. Deckers go into the Matrix to do interesting things. We'll talk about the Matrix as it comes up. Shamans call on totem spirits. They're basically the summoner class. They can summon a bunch of spirits and do very specialized magic. Riggers control drones. Like, they mind control drones. They step outside of their bodies and control them with their minds. Rigger was the class I chose in the last game, Dragonfall. But this game, we're going to be going for Physical Adept. Adepts are all about buffing themselves to go up close and deal a bunch of unarmed damage. Yeah, as it says here, as adepts unlock new abilities, they become honed physical machines, using their magic to enhance their close combat abilities. Definitely going to be an adept. And their main things are body, strength, and willpower. So I just want to look through this one more time to make sure that I'm not... Okay, so a dwarf would actually be best for this. But... I'm going to be upping potentially a different stat than that. So I'm still going to stick with human. Alright, now we get into the rest of the character screen. Here is our player character, what they will eventually look like. Here are the portraits we can select for that character. And there's a bit of customization options. Not much, because this is an indie game, but extensive enough for some amount of customization. Oh! And the characters actually correspond very closely to the portraits in this one. That's interesting. Oh, that's very interesting. These are a lot of tech guys, and for those who aren't that familiar with the Shadowrun universe, tech and magic don't go very well in this universe. It shreds your essence. Oh, I like that guy, but no. I need somebody who's less tech heavy. That's more of a shaman. That's... I don't know what that is. Wolverine, maybe? Oh my god, they're all so cyber-oriented. Oh, hello. Hello. That could be what we're looking for. That could also... Yeah, it seems like these are a lot of just modifications on the same face model. What to choose? Oh. Oh, I like this one. I like this one. Yeah, and it only makes limited changes to the body model, but I do like that they correspond pretty closely with that. Don't auto me. I want a custom. He's not going to be super pale. Just... No, I think that's about as pale as it gets. That'll do. Hairstyle... Can I pan him? Oh, I can. I can pan him. Yeah. Seeing as in... The hope is that we're going to be playing this character for a long while, so I want to make sure he's just right. Oh, that mohawk's real nice. That's a real nice cyberpunk mohawk, but that's not what I'm looking for. Oh, wait. What was that last one? Nah, a bit too much mutton chops. I don't know. I think that might just be the beard. Yeah, I think that's just the beard. That's a nice mohawk. That's an even nicer mohawk. And I think we're back at the start. Sorry about taking all this time on hair arrangement, but gotta do what you gotta do. I'm looking for... Ah, there it is. That's what I want. And I want no beard. Actually, I should probably give him a hairstyle just because this guy actually has hair. And I want the two of them to match. That'll do. I think that's what he was to start with, so that's pretty fun. And that'll do for now, and it should bring us to here from the karma screen. Yeah, and karma is essentially the experience rate, and it can improve all of our stats. So, yeah, body is just endurance. It also determines how much cyberware, how much like cyborg parts I can install in my body. And then quickness seems to be for gun handling for the most part. It's been a while since I've done this, so I'm also relearning it as I go. And it's also for hit chance in ranged combat. I'm probably not going to spec heavily into that because ranged combat is not what I'm after. Strength, use calculated chance to hit with melee and throwing weapons, increases the damage value of melee attacks. Also determines how far a grenade can be thrown. This I'm probably going to put some effort into. Intelligence is good for decking, which is what's used to enter the Matrix, and drone control, which is what's used for riggers. Willpower is apparently the stat I very much want because it gives me access to all the adept spells. And then charisma gives me a bit of conjuring. But what these also do is they give you certain conversation options that wouldn't be available to you if you didn't have these stats. So, yeah, and as you can see here, the other thing they do, this is the max. Everything grayed out past that we can't access. And then it basically gates what, like the central stat gates what lower stats you have access to. Like, I couldn't access this pinning hit unless I had strength 4. I wouldn't be able to access it at all. Okay, so as an adept, we're going to want a lot of willpower. Okay, that is how I remembered it. Yeah, so, and also each of these numbers is a corresponding point cost. So it costs me 4 points to get to level 4, and 5 points to get to level 5, etc., etc. And it's that way for each skill in the tree. Alright, so I want my character to be very well versed in willpower. Let's see, so that opens a lot of spell casting slots. Okay, so I want to learn all the key casting. It's either key or chi. And also, at level 1 I can equip Killing Hands, so that's amusing. So, I will get... Let's see, Magic Resistance 1. Mana Fist, I'm all over that. And let's get Stride and Quick Strike. Okay, and then each of these function as this set of skills, I believe. So I could get Counter Strike and Martial Defense and Key Focus. That's real cool. But I want to put some points into Charisma. And Charisma is special in that if you get Charisma... I want to see if any of the other ones do this. They don't. Charisma gives you new etiquettes. And what etiquettes allow you to do is access conversation options that wouldn't be available to you otherwise. For instance, if I were talking to a security guard and I had this security etiquette, I would be able to maybe discuss the technical aspects of that person's job with them in a way that somebody who didn't have this etiquette wouldn't be able to. Let's see, so the character I'm thinking of would be an academic. And I may add more of these later, in part to unlock more conversation options and in part to develop the backstory for this character. But I wanted to make sure that I had at least one etiquette. And one of the fun things about Shadowrun as a system is that you're not really locked into any particular class. Like, you can be an adept who is also a shaman, or a cyberware person who is also a decker. There's a lot of leeway that the game gives you. So what I want for certain is... Yeah, so close combat is the main component used to calculate the chance to hit with melee weapons in unarmed combat, as well as melee cyber weapons such as spurs and hand razors. Increasing the skill unlocks an additional weapon slot and the Overwatch ability. Okay. So, seeing as I'm going to be up in the fray, I want a bit of close combat. But let me see. Oh, hold on. So this is increases the chance of scoring a critical hit when it uses punches and kicks to attack. Oh, this I want. This I want as well. Yeah. My person's gonna be rather frail. I mean, it seems like I can't lower their body stat, but I think they're still going to be rather frail. And let's see. It seems like these all do the things that Spell Strike does, so I'd rather just spec into these if I can. I can't even put the necessary in there to do etiquette. So I think, let me see, what's locked off to me? Martial Defense 2. I'm not upset about that. I mean, I think I only want to go as far as, let me check. Lightning Strike. I definitely want Lightning Strike. Okay, so I think I will put the rest of my points into, I don't want weapon slots. And I don't think I want Overwatch because that's not going to matter because I don't have ranged weapons on this character. I think what I want is... Oh, that's melee weapons. Okay. So what I want is unarmed. Oh, but I need a level of close combat to get unarmed. That's interesting. Yeah, like I said before, I was a decker in the last one. So I didn't know that. Critical damage percentage visible. And then I could get a 3 in close combat or a 4 in strength. My intelligence is going to be pretty low, but I don't think I have the luxury of putting into intelligence. So what I will do is put 1 more point into strength. And I believe that will be my character. I'm not min-maxing this build. I have no idea whether or not this is good, but this seems a lot like my character. Decent charisma, decent willpower, decent strength. Quickness doesn't really need to be all that good. I'd like intelligence to be higher, but I may just not touch it for the rest of the game. Because, like I said before, cybernetics and magic do not go together well. Oh, and I can choose another etiquette. Okay. So now I can choose Gang, which I wanted to do. I wanted him to be an academic. Okay, so first and last name. This one I'm a bit unsure of. I'll type in the street name first, and then I'll tell you about what this character is as I think of first and last names. Okay, so this character, Fist Sensei, because they're usually addressed by their street name, is a character who just grew up in Hong Kong, in, like, the seedy parts of Hong Kong, doing what he could to survive. And then he awakened to his physical adept powers and was trained by somebody. I'm still thinking this through. Hopefully they'll ask me some questions at the beginning that will allow me to further deepen this story. And learned how to use his fists in a way that's less violent. How to talk his way out of problems instead of fighting his way out of problems. He learned patience. He learned meditation from this person. And then became a Shadowrunner less to get money and get paid, but more to find a group of people to run with and reduce their casualties, both dealt to the enemy and on their side. But that doesn't mean that he's a complete pacifist. He'll try to resolve things without violence at every possible opportunity, but if it seems like violence is inevitable, he will punch somebody so hard that their head will shatter against the wall. That's why I like this gang and academic etiquette combo, because it goes very well with the character I'm thinking of. So, what's a good name? I know so little about Chinese names. Let's go with... I'm gonna go with... Ying Sun. I hope that I didn't just, like, horribly offend any Chinese speakers with my terrible naming sense, but with any luck, he will only be called by this name. And actually, I believe in Chinese it's something different, like, Sifu? I think that's it. Let me check. I want to be very sure of this. Just for my own peace of mind. Just looking this up on my phone right now. So let me see. Teacher in Chinese. Okay. I'm sure that there are many different dialects of Chinese, and I don't want to botch it, but I know that teacher is sensei in Japanese. So I'm going to go with that. Alright. So that is character creation. Now, I'm going to stop the recording here, and then get back into it when on the first episode. So, thank you for watching, if you watch this, and I look forward to seeing you in the pilot episode.